Well, I've done myself a mischief. Good day everyone, hope you're all well and welcome to a video I thought I'd never end up recording. As you can see, I'm in two slings and I've had a bit of a mischief, so yeah, a lot of you that follow me on socials will know that I've had a little bit of an accident. A bit of context before that, been BMX riding my entire life, so about 2008 I started riding. You can see my bike behind me. I've had since about 2009. Won a few comps back in the day, did a few local comps and sort of got my riding to a bit of a level where I thought that I was able to compete, so I started competing and did pretty well back then. Got to a point where I stopped around 2013-14 when I started getting into cars, and so I started riding recreationally and thought that it was a good thing to do to stop competing because it was a pretty high risk sport. After about 5 years of not riding, bit of a hiatus, we decided to get back on the bike. I met a few new people that got back into the sport. Decided to get back into riding again and wanted to try and get back into competing and just trying to see how my skill level is at this age. So actually was going to enter a comp mid-September. It's early September now. Trying to ride in between then to try and get my skill level up, and I was trying to get there and I was getting much better. And I was almost exactly where I was before I stopped. So heading in towards this comp in September, a few of my mates were practicing with me that I was going to be riding with, and we decided to go to the skate park one day. Yeah, we just played a few games of bike. For all of you that don't know what games of bike is, you set a trick, someone does it, and then if they do it, they do the next trick, and then you got to do it. If they don't, they get a letter B, and then you spell B-I-K-E, and the first person to spell bike is out. I won both games, yay. After I won both games, I decided to do a big sort of a dipped 360 barrel roll, and you sort of almost go upside down as you do it. You drop your shoulder, big 360. I did it, and this guy came running over and he's like, "Oh, could you please do that again for my son? My son really wants to see that. He'll freak out." I said, "Yeah, no worries, I'll go set up and I'll do it again." As I literally went to set up for a trick, I rode up like a 6-foot quarter pipe, and as I rode up the 6-foot quarter pipe, I landed and went to sort of do this transition where I drive off the side of the quarter pipe into the roll in to the left hand side of it. As I've sort of cranked to go forward, cranked to lift the front wheel up, sort of like your manual as you go in, and I've just, all of a sudden, I just got thrown so aggressively forward and I smashed the ground 6 feet in the air. No recollection of what happened. As I got up, someone sort of, I knocked out for like maybe a second or two. I sat up and someone said to me, "Oh no, his chain snapped." I looked at my bike that was next to me and the chain was on the floor. So my chain literally, the bike failed and the chain snapped as I cranked to roll in that ramp. So that was 6 foot from the top to the bottom of concrete. I landed like this. So head, shoulder, this arm, whole right side of my body just got absolutely pulverized. Blew my knee out. And I remember just sitting up. First thing I did was grab this wrist because I knew I did something wrong. I thought maybe I jarred it really bad. Someone sat up to me, someone came up to me and said straight away, "Oh, can you move your hand?" And I sort of did this and I rotated and I'm like, "Yeah, I can move it." And they're like, "Okay, it's not broken." And I could move this arm, but this arm was starting to lock up. This whole side of my body was starting to lock up. My knee was completely locked up, so I was hobbling everywhere. And straight away, I got up. I was completely concussed. I had no idea what was going on. I left my bike where I crashed. I just walked straight to the tap, gulped like a liter of water, sat down. The first thing I did was I took a photo of my knee because I was just like so blown away what happened. I was pissing out blood on my knee. I was so blown away what happened. So I took a photo of my knee, which I'll put on the screen now. And then my mate came over, and my mates had no idea what happened because they went to the other side of the skate park. And where I crashed, they couldn't see me from that area because it's like a new area. And they come over and they just saw my pants rip, me bleeding, me holding my arm, my helmet was off and all scratched up, and they're just like, "What the hell happened?" And I'm like, "I honestly don't know, my bike just failed and I went straight over the top of this 6-foot quarter." And they're like, "What the fuck?" Anyway, so I got up, I took my helmet off and I looked at my helmet, and then I realized how hard I hit my head. I'll show you my helmet now. That's my helmet there. As you can see, it's all scratched up, but I didn't actually crack it, but I hit my head pretty hard. So this sort of saved my life from that perspective. Didn't realize how hard I hit my head until I saw my helmet. And then my mate, the first thing I did was I laid down on one of the chairs there and I called my girlfriend who's holding the camera now, and I'd like to thank her for looking after me this last month because it's been pretty full on, but nothing she hasn't dealt with in the last 8 years. So I laid down, and a couple mums come over and they're like, "Oh, do you need to get driven to the hospital? You look pretty bad." I said, "No, I'll be fine. I'll probably just jarred it. I'll drive home." My mate Peter came over, who I was playing bike with, and he helped me put my bike in the car. Thank you, Peter. To this day, I don't know where my chain is. I thought the chain was on my bike and I thought the chain was in my car. I cannot find it because I wanted to show you guys the broken half link. It was a half link chain because I like to run quality parts on my bike. I always have. Never cheap out on quality stuff on my bike. The chain itself, I think, was not old, but I got it right before I started riding, stopped riding, sorry. So it was about 5-6 years ago. It was a half link chain. It's supposed to be high tensile, it's supposed to be a bit stronger. But I think the lack of not using the bike over a long time and getting back into riding, probably the chain hasn't been oiled, so one of the pins might have just fatigued and snapped. So just it happens, it was a freak accident. So a little bit of context behind the crash, and I'll sort of show you some really poorly drawn diagrams of what I've put together here. So the first photo you'll see on the screen here is like a, sorry if you hear kids in the background, the kids are out, which is fantastic because no kids are always inside playing Fortnite. You'll see my fat ass doing a big sort of a dip 360. This is an old photo, but in the background you'll see the 6-foot quarter pipe with the poorly drawn red line. You'll see the rolling to the right of it, and then that little area where I've scribbled yellow, that is where I landed. And now I'll put another photo up on the screen here, which is a little bit of a close-up version of this, a screenshot taken for a video of this quarter pipe and this roll in. So up the top there, you'll see the red line, and then you'll see a yellow line, and that's about the point where my chain actually snapped in half. I went over and I landed on that yellow X there. So you can sort of see the sort of altitude that I've come down from. So you can, it's hard to sort of grasp on camera. Obviously, you know, field of view and distance doesn't really show on cameras, and you can sort of pinpoint how I crashed, but in person it's a lot taller. It's about 6 foot, so you know, coming down on your face from 6 foot sucks. So getting back to the crash, so after I laid down, I rang my girlfriend straight away, let her know what happened. I just sort of tried to sound confident, and I was freaking out a little bit, but I was trying to sound, you know, confident. I didn't want to freak her out. You know, first thing I did when I landed was I just thought about how I just, you know, how am I going to shoot videos? How am I going to go to work? What the hell have I done? I've fucking ruined everything. Yeah, went to the car. I got in it. My right arm worked enough that I could go into it and drive, because I was in my daily, my Hyundai XL, automatic. So all I had to do was just move my right arm over and move it into gear, put the handbrake down, and then I could use the steering wheel. So it was a 15-minute drive home. I managed to drive home. At the time, I had no idea I had 2 broken arms. No idea. To me, I thought it was a sprain. I thought it was maybe a muscle injury, but the right side of my body was getting more and more locked up as I went. My knee barely worked, so I actually had to do a bit of left foot braking on the way home because I couldn't move my knee over. So it was a bit like racing a GT1 car. Got home, my girlfriend greeted me at the end of the street, didn't look impressed. So she had to actually drive the car and park it. So I got out of the car, hobbled inside, got ice ready. Yeah, first thing I did was told my missus to go get me a zinger box. So she had to spoon feed me that because my arms couldn't move my arms past about this much. So she spoon fed me a zinger box, which was very, very new, and but it was good.
Every chip.
every single chip, had on gravy, everything. Every tender, made a bit of a mess. I even had my own tray to put my food in. So that night, didn't think much of it. I thought maybe it was bad sprain, it's fine, I'll go to the hospital tomorrow. So I slept on it, went to the hospital first thing in the morning. I went to the doctor's first, got x-rayed, and first thing doctor said was like, oh, the x-ray, looked at me and he goes, yeah, I can see something in both arms. Yeah, go get it looked at. So my doctor literally looked at the x-rays and he goes, yeah, you need to go to hospital right now. Don't leave it any longer, go hospital. And I said, all right, so straight to the hospital I went. Yeah, they looked at it and they said, look, you've done a bit of a mischief. You've actually broken both arms. And I said, okay. So they told me that I broke my scaphoid bone. Yep. In my left wrist, so this one here. I actually shattered it in 2 pieces, and when they showed me the x-ray, I thought it was two separate bones. So that broke, and I radial head fractured this right arm here. So luckily this one would heal on its own. This one will heal on its own because it's split the top of the bone. I'll put a photo of both x-rays on the screen. When I landed, the right side of my body copped it. I have had pretty strong bones over the years, so it's taken a long time to actually break something because I've had some pretty gnarly crashes. To do a radial fracture here was probably my best case scenario with how hard I landed. Because I landed on my right side, when I went to crash, the first thing I remember was I rotated my head this way just because I didn't want to lose my teeth. Had enough time, even though everything's happened so fast, I didn't know what was going on. I rotated my head just to save my jaw from breaking and losing my teeth. So that's why I got the right side of my helmet, because I curled my head in like this and then the whole right side of my body copped all the impact. Back to the hospital. So went to the hospital. First of all, they said, look, your right arm, which is this one, which was completely locked up then. I couldn't move it at all, so I had to be spoon-fed everything. I couldn't do anything. They said straight away, look, the right one will heal on its own. It'll probably take about 6 weeks. The left one, we most likely need to do surgery. And I said, okay, you know, my first time doing surgery, so I was a little bit nervous, and like, you know, I sort of didn't want to do it because, you know, I'm like, oh, if it doesn't need surgery, you know, I can get away with it. But so at the end of the day, I had to wait about a week to go see my orthopedic doctor, and he said to me, he goes, look, we need to do surgery on it. The bone separated quite a bit that they may not have a tendency to fuse back together. So that means that it becomes a non-union joint. The bone, the scaphoid bone, has a very complicated blood flow design that goes through it, so it sort of flows through the bone and back through out the back of the bone. So if that's compromised, where mine is, because mine fractured and broke through the waist, that bone over time, if it doesn't fuse, doesn't get its calcium, doesn't get its blood supply, and then it eventually dies, then I've got arthritis for the rest of my life. So I opted to do the surgery. So a week and a half after, they booked me in for surgery, and the whole surgery debacle was a debacle in itself. So a bit of a story there. So they called me on the Thursday, which was the day before my beloved girlfriend's birthday. They called me and said, oh look, we need to put you in for surgery ASAP on Friday, next day. And I said, oh, it's my girlfriend's birthday, can I move it to Sunday? And they're like, look, you might not get in, so you'll have to go Friday. And I looked at my girlfriend, I said, look, I've got to do it. And she said, you know, bad luck, we'll celebrate the birthday the next day. Which is a bit annoying to celebrate the next day because I had to wait for the surgery. So anyway, context behind that was they put me in the morning, got there at 11 o'clock, told me that there might be a slight chance I might not get seen because of the high demand of cesareans getting done and all the theatres being taken up. Because of that, they said there was a slight chance, but more than likely I'll get done today. And I said, okay, cool, it's my girlfriend's birthday. I want to get my surgery done so I can just be home and you know, I'd have to stay the night if I got the surgery done that day. So I just wanted to spend the day the next day with her for her birthday. So about 9 hours went past, been laying in hospital, very dehydrated because you have to fast the night before. They told me to fast it, usually fast 6 in the morning. They told me to do it at midnight so I can get in earlier for the surgery. So I'd been fasting from midnight, let alone that because it was my girlfriend's birthday, I'd only eaten like cake and muffins, so it wasn't the most nutritional value put into my body. After that, they came in, the surgeon come in. I was so dehydrated that I could barely move, I could barely walk, I could barely talk, I couldn't do anything. And the nurses came in, they looked at me, looked at my tongue, and they're like, we've got to put you on an IV drip. Literally had to put me on a drip, hydrate me from the inside out because I couldn't orally do it in case they put the anesthetic in me. If they put anesthetic on you when you orally drink, then you end up pretty much drowning in your own lungs. It sort of ends up like pneumonia. Surgeon came in and said, look, we're really sorry. We won't be able to get you in for surgery today. And I looked at him and I said, God, it's my girlfriend's birthday. I've just spent 9 hours in hospital just sitting here doing nothing. And he goes, look, if I was you, I'd complain to the hospital. You know, it's out of our control. And I said, yeah, okay, fair enough. You know, they told me to come in Sunday, which I was wary of. I didn't want the same thing to happen. Got a call. They said, come in 7:30. We'll do your surgery as early as possible. Got there 7:30 and it was like a complete shift of everything. My girlfriend sort of made a complaint and made us very well known to the hospital. It was like they rolled out the red carpet when I got there. And yeah, literally they just like got me in, and I was doing paperwork at the front counter, and literally straight away the surgeons were waiting next to me with a bed, just sort of sitting there tinkering their thumbs like, hurry up, come on, let's do it, let's get it done. So I literally got there 7:30 and I was in theatre by about 8:45. And I was sitting there and they're like, yep. And I was nervous before, but then when I went in for surgery that day, I was actually excited just to get over and done with. I was looking forward to it. My first time going under, so it was a bit scary, but at the same time I was like eager, you know. At the end of the day, it's a memory, it's something to talk about, you know. Got the surgery done, and they did mention to me before the surgery that they might have to extract some bone from either my arm or my hip. I woke up from surgery about 1 hour and 20 later, so it wasn't a big procedure. I spoke to the doctor straight away. I was making jokes already, so I was already in good spirits. Anesthetic fucked me up, so I was just full all over the place, full cooker. Straight away, doctor's like, how you feeling? I said, yeah, not too bad. Did the surgery go well? And he goes, yeah. He goes, we had to actually bone graft you from your hip. Do you want to look at your hip? And I said, oh, what, really? And he pulled my gown over, and there it is. They literally took bone out of my hip to fill in my wrist to help it graft, and then they put a plate and 2 screws to hold it all together. All right, guys, just got out of surgery. My hand's all red from the surgery. I had to do a bone graft from my hip to replace the broken bit of my wrist. So obviously I needed to put some bone in the middle to help fuse it back together. Just about an hour post-op, and yeah, I'm gonna get there and heal. New cast on. Got to go back in 2 weeks for a checkup, and yeah, my first surgery. All seemed to go to plan. Take another video when all better. So that was my first surgery, and it was actually quite cool to know that I've got some metal in me now. So now I'm like the cars and the bikes. Accident was about 4 weeks ago. 3.5 weeks? 4 weeks?
4 weeks tomorrow, I think.
4 weeks tomorrow, yeah. So I did my crash on a Thursday. So it's Thursday tomorrow, 4 weeks since my crash. It's been about nearly 3 weeks in surgery. 2.5 weeks.
I think so.
Yeah,
the days are all blending into one.
Yeah, so I'm because I've been off work and everything, I've lost track of days, I've lost track of time. I haven't uploaded a video in over 5 weeks, so like it's just been all over the joint. But I'm doing all right, guys. I'm doing all right. I know all you guys have a million questions, so I'll try and answer as many as I can, because I know all of you are wondering what's going to happen, you know, what's the future, you know, what's recovery time. Obviously, they're 2 separate injuries. And obviously my knee blew out too, so my knee's been really bad. It sometimes collapses on itself. It doesn't hinge all the way. It's not fractured, it's not broken, but it's just really bad at the moment. So I'm waiting for that, especially with the cold weather. I'm just really waiting for that to sort of heal up. And I've been going for walks every day. Me and Alicia have been going for walks, trying to keep the cardio up. This all happened at a really annoying time because everything was going really good. I re-sparked my passion for bike riding, which sort of, you know, gave me a bit more of a spark in life. And you know, I lost over 10 kilos of weight just from doing dieting and training and losing all my isolation weight. So I was in a pretty good headspace at the time of my accident. So goes to show you that no matter what, you know, things can go wrong, things can fail. This sort of reminds me of things like, you know, when you at a track day and your tyre blows out 200 k's and you go into the wall, you can't plan for failure, you can't plan for mechanical failure, you can't plan for things failing. And I've been riding BMX my whole life from 25, and my first time breaking a bone was a complete accident and failure, because most of the time when I learn a trick, I can dial that trick every time and I rarely crash. And a lot of times when I did crash, it was just out of stupidity or something went wrong, like I've slipped or that I've just, you know, the bike's failed. Years ago, when I used to ride, my mate actually did a backflip at my local skate park. His handlebar snapped as he pulled back for his backflip, landed on his head and his shoulder, and ended up having a brain hemorrhage and almost died. So it goes to show that you can have an accident like that and everything can change. So my injury isn't as crazy as some others, but like it's pretty gnarly for someone who has never gone through this before. Obviously being in hospital too, seeing the people getting wheeled in there, you know, it really opens your eyes, and I'm glad that, you know, I didn't have to be, you know, them in there, and I was pretty grateful for my injury at that time. So it's going to take, so because there's two separate injuries, this arm here will take about 6 weeks, so it's been 4 weeks, so hopefully in the next 2 weeks I have almost full movement back. I've almost got all my movement back. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, and this is the main question I get asked all the time, and that's, can I go to the toilet and can I wipe my ass? So I'll take this off, because you can see that I have almost full movement back. So this is the fracture. So as you can see, people that walk past me have no idea that both my arms are retarded. So that is my full range of motion. So that's, the orthopedic surgeon wants me to get back to what they call zero motion, which is fully extended and fully retracted. So right now that's about my full, which isn't that far off, because it's considering the day I crashed, I couldn't do this and I couldn't do this, and I could only move my wrist like that. Also this rotating, that hurts a lot through here. The pain is sort of like someone corks you, like when they punch you and you get that cork feeling in your muscle. So it sort of just like locks up, but it's not actually that painful, it's more just discomfort. So the pain scale when I had the accident was probably a constant 7 out of 10 overall. It got to about an 8 or 9 if I moved it the wrong way. It's pretty agonizing. My knee was probably one of the most painful things, but the wrist was sore. Actually, the next day I woke up, my whole body was aching. The whole body was aching. So like, it was just like when you get the flu and everything aches. This arm's come back a lot. I can actually do a lot of things. I can get changed now. I can go to the toilet. I always could go to the toilet and wipe my ass. So because I didn't have that range of motion going up, I had the range of motion going down. So if I didn't bend my arm, I could get to behind my bootay and I could get to my frontal region. But I did need help having showers, I did need help to get my pants down, I did need help to get fed for the first week, and a little bit after surgery, of course, because of just my immobility to do anything on my own, be independent. This one will come back naturally, which I'm happy about. This injury is going to be a little bit longer because of the surgery. So initially they say scaphoid fracture would be about 8 weeks to 12 weeks on its own. But then with surgery, obviously that surgery sort of helps speed it up, which is good. But this will be about 8 weeks as well to recover, and I'm about nearly 3 weeks in, so almost halfway, so which is good. And time's going pretty fast, and don't worry guys, I have plenty to keep me occupied. Now that I can use my arms, I've been building the RC cars, I've been building a drift car RC car, been doing my crawler, been mucking around. I can use the controller now. Annoying thing is I can't use my steering wheel on the simulator because of my hands, so I've been buying new games on the PlayStation, playing them. I've been watching heaps of TV. I'm a person that I don't like watching a lot of Netflix and that, it bores the shit out of me, so just been watching YouTube, just been watching, you know, some old TV shows and that, so trying to get there. Another thing was I brought this mountain bike behind me, so me and my mate were getting into mountain biking, and then, you know, that happened. This accident did happen during lockdown, actually. It was actually during the point of lockdown where the skate parks were still open, so I could go. This whole accident and recovery has been during lockdown, so it's sort of happened at not a good time for an accident to happen, but the best time I could have done it, because I'm going to be recovering all throughout lockdown. As you know, Victoria is in a pretty harsh lockdown. We got curfew, been like that for about, I think, 6-7 weeks now, and I did my accident in the second week of lockdown, and I had my whole accident and recovery during this period, so like everyone's sort of stuck down as well. I'm not the only one suffering, so it's a little bit relieving on the mental state to know that like not everyone's having fun without me. And you know, and the amount of support I've received from, honestly, more so from everyone that watches the channel. I've gotten more support from them than almost my friends, because it's just been unbelievable. People asking, you know, they want to send stuff to me and they want to like start a GoFundMe, and I'm just like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that stuff. I just, you know, the spirits and hopes is what keeps me going. So yeah, massive shout out to everyone that's messaged me. The first day of my accident, I have over 100 inboxes just through my subscribers, and on my Facebook, just messaging me saying like, you know, get well soon, wishing me luck for surgery. So it means a lot. and all my friends that have reached out to me and shouted out, so you know, it means the world to me. So what this means for the future and that, obviously nothing's changed. Everything's going to be normal. Once I recover, be back to making videos with the cars. I've been stockpiling my table inside full of car parts, so I can smash all the car parts in. Obviously I can't do too much too soon. Smash all the car parts in that I've ordered, so then I have everything ready. Obviously, will I be continuing BMX riding? I don't think to that level. It hasn't scarred me, but it's just sort of reminded me how quick things can go wrong and put you on hold. I will be doing it recreationally and mountain biking and dirt bike riding as always. Being a lot more wary, but not getting to that level that I wanted to before. I was sort of wanted to get back to that level, but not anymore. So yeah, I will be riding here and there. After I'm fully recovered, I'll be wearing things to stop, you know, me having the injury again, because I can redo it again if I crash, and I don't want to do that. So I'll wear wristbands, straps, whatever. So yeah, so I'll be getting back into video straight away. I might do some videos over my recovery. I might do a cripple version question and answer, which I want to do next, so that'll be good. So stay tuned. So I'll do that in the community post on YouTube, and I'll do that in my Instagram story, ask my questions and that, and I'll get answering all those. And then also I want to do some, like, you know, getting back into the groove of things. So like my first drive after my crash, you know, it's been nearly a month of not driving, so it's been driving me nuts. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up. If you have any more questions, just let me know in the comments and that. I will keep you updated on all the recovery stuff and how I'm going and that, and when I do my question and answer video, hopefully I'm in a bit better state. But everything's coming back slowly, and every day gets better and better, so it's been very exciting. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll answer them. And if I missed anything, yeah, just let me know, and be wary that the cars aren't going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be back better than ever, and we have a few new sponsors for the channel, which is exciting. And I actually got my own shirt made up for me, so you might see some shirts coming soon. I'll just give you a bit of a sneak peek. A few exciting things coming, and yeah, everything's going to be back to normal soon, so don't you worry. So take care everyone, and we'll see you in the next video, and don't worry about me, I'm coming back. Take care.